Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss about greenhouse effect and the global warming, a very important topic. So friends, let us talk about the greenhouse effect. The term greenhouse effect was derived from the phenomena that occurs in the greenhouse. What is this greenhouse? If you have ever visited a nursery or a botanical garden, you must have come across a small glass house, and this glass house is otherwise called as a greenhouse. In this glass house, they specially grow certain varieties of plants. Now, why they grow in a glass paneled glass house instead of open atmosphere? To understand this, let's go for this diagram. In general, when the visible light reaches, it can freely transmit through the glass panel. Through the glass roof, all the visible photons can reach the plants here. Now, as the visible light reaches the soil or the plants, most of it is absorbed and some amount of radiation is released in the form of infrared rays, the longer wavelength infrared rays. Now, these infrared rays, they escape to the atmosphere in the absence of this glass panel. But here, due to the presence of this glass roof, the glass roof will limit the escape of the infrared rays into the atmosphere. And what will happen to these infrared rays? As they hit the glass top, they refract, they bend, and they again come back. And this happens continuously. So as the visible light is entering into the glass house, the infrared radiations are generated, and these infrared radiations, they keep hitting the glass panel and they refract and again come back. And as a result of this, the temperature of the greenhouse will increase and the greenhouse becomes warmer when compared to the surrounding atmosphere. And also the greenhouse, the carbon dioxide concentration will also increase. Why the carbon dioxide concentration increases in a greenhouse? That is because it is a closed environment. The convectional currents, there is a limitation for the exchange of gases. Air is not able to move. Because of this, temperature rises. At the same time, there is also increase in the concentration of the carbon dioxide. Now, why certain plants are grown in these greenhouses? So in other words, the greenhouse is providing more temperature and more carbon dioxide concentration when compared to the prevailing surroundings, which will help for certain plants. You have learned in the lesson photosynthesis that C3 plants require more temperatures and more carbon dioxide concentrations to perform more photosynthesis and to give more productivity. So, those plants which are of commercial importance that require higher concentrations of carbon dioxide and higher temperatures are specially raised in these glass houses, which are otherwise called as greenhouse. Okay. So what is the link between the greenhouse of a botanical garden to that of the global warming? Let's understand this. So in this case, the glass panel is acting as what should I say, a blanket, or it is obstructing the escape of the heat. And as a result, the glass house is warming up. Temperatures are rising in the glass house. The same way, the earth, because it is covered by atmospheric gases, and these gases are actually trapping the heat, the infrared radiations, and they are keeping the heat close to the earth's surface, and that is the reason why earth is able to maintain an average temperature. Let us get into the details. So the atmospheric gases are majorly made up of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, and water. Apart from this, you have also other gases which are responsible for increase in the temperatures, and so they are called as greenhouse gases. And the major greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxides, ozone, and CFCs, right? Um, so to understand the Earth's global warming phenomena, let's look into certain hypothetical things. If you look at this, if we imagine that the Earth was a black body, you know, black body which will absorb all the radiation. The visible light is completely absorbed, and that is the reason it appears black in color. If you observe this black body, if the Earth was a black body, all the light will be absorbed, and the average temperature of the Earth would be 5.3 degrees Celsius. But the Earth was not a black body. Then what is it? If the Earth was just Earth, it was not surrounded by any kind of atmospheric gases. 70% of the radiation will be absorbed and 30% will be given out. In this case, the Earth's temperature would be minus 18 degrees centigrade. Can you just imagine? If the Earth was not covered by any kind of atmospheric gases, the Earth's temperature will drop to freezing temperatures, that is minus 18 degrees centigrade. And all the water should have been in a frozen condition, and there is no scope for evolution of life. But that is not the case. Then what is this? Why is the Earth able to maintain the normal temperatures? That is because of the presence of the atmospheric gases around the Earth. These gases, this atmosphere acts like a blanket which will absorb most of the heat and which will not allow the heat to escape from the Earth's surface, and that is how it will retain the heat close to the Earth's surface. And as a result, the Earth's temperatures are 14 degrees to 15 degrees centigrade. That means you can see here, in the absence of the atmospheric gases, especially the greenhouse gases, the Earth should have been in a frozen condition. The temperatures of the Earth will be in minus. But due to the presence of the greenhouse gases only, the Earth's temperature is maintained at 14 degrees centigrade. Now, this effect that is caused by the greenhouse means maintenance of an average temperature is called as a natural greenhouse effect. Okay, you can see here, minus 18 hona hai in the absence of greenhouse gases, but due to the presence of greenhouse gases, it has reached to 14 degrees centigrade. And this rise in the temperature is otherwise called as the natural greenhouse effect. And now, what is the problem here? So the amount of greenhouse gases that are naturally present will maintain the temperature at 14 degrees. But today, due to the industrialization, we are releasing excess of carbon dioxide, methane, CFCs, and ozones. And the proportion of the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere have increased tremendously. Because of this tremendous increase, enormous increase in the proportion of greenhouse gases, the gases are able to trap more amount of heat. With the increase in the proportion of gases, more amount of heat is being trapped, and as a result, the Earth's temperature is continuously on a rise, and that is called as artificial greenhouse or man-made greenhouse effect. Okay. Now, to understand the greenhouse gases, there was a kind of a computer simulation, friends. I would suggest you to go to this website and explore it. But before that, let me take you to that website and show you how the greenhouse gases are actually contributing to global warming. So this is the simulation that was provided by Colorado University website. Let us look at the photon absorption. So look at the gases. So atmospheric gases are majorly nitrogen, oxygen, water, carbon dioxide, and methane. When these gaseous molecules are exposed to visible light and the infrared light, how do they behave? Let us see that. It's fun. We'll first take oxygen. So when oxygen is hit by a visible photon, what is going to happen? Nothing. No movement, nothing. Everything is fine. Okay. Now we'll take nitrogen. Oxygen and nitrogen are diatomic, right? They are quite strong enough. Visible photons could not bring any kind of change or vibration, nothing. Water vapor, no change, stable. Carbon dioxide, stable. And methane, stable. That means when the visible photons are hitting the atmospheric gases, all the gases are quite stable, no issues. But what happens to these gases when they are hit by the infrared radiations? Now these red ones, red particles are the infrared radiations. When oxygen is hit by infrared radiation, oxygen is stable enough. When nitrogen is hit, this blue one is nitrogen, no change. Water, yes, the hydrogens, they are vibrating. The atoms are vibrating. Carbon dioxide, yeah, lot of vibrations. And because of their vibration, you can see some of the infrared rays are bent. They are being passed in different directions. Yeah. So the path of the infrared radiation is changed. They are refracting like this back. Okay. Now methane. Yeah, methane is dancing more. So it could also cause a lot of refraction. So friends, what we should understand here is when oxygen and nitrogen are exposed to infrared radiation, they are quite stable and inert, no change we have seen. But when methane, carbon dioxide and water are hit by the infrared radiations, they vibrate and they cause the refraction of the infrared radiations. They are backing towards their origin direction, right? Now let us create the whole atmosphere. Just like that. It's a play. So when we built atmosphere with all these molecules and when we hit this with visible light, so as you have seen, visible light is not able to bring any kind of vibrations, nothing. Visible light is just moving in one direction, that's all. Nothing happens much. But when it is hit by infrared radiation, as it is, yeah, what will happen? These three gases, the so-called greenhouse gases, they are able to vibrate, and due to the vibrations, some of the infrared rays are refracted back, they are bent back, their path is changed and they are moving in a backward direction. Okay. Now let us see this, the second one. You can see here, this is the Earth's surface. It is hit by visible photons. So every time visible photon reaches, it is generating infrared radiations. Now, because there is no obstruction, this blue one is the space and this green is the Earth, and visibly there is no obstruction here. All the infrared radiations are freely escaping into the space. But now, let us build a glass panel on top of it. So due to the presence of glass panel, the infrared radiations, some of the infrared rays cannot be passing. They cannot cross. They are again going and coming back. Some of the IR will be trapped between the glass panel and the Earth's surface. If we increase the number of glass panes, that is thickness of the greenhouse gases, concentration of the greenhouse gases is equivalent to number of glass panes. As you increase the number of glass panes, the amount of infrared radiation that is prevailing or that got trapped on the Earth's surface increases, right? Because there is no way for it to go out. Exactly the same thing will happen when there is increase in the concentration of the greenhouse gases. What the glass panes are doing, when the glass panes are less in number, there is more scope for infrared rays to escape into the space. When the glass panes are more in number, more infrared rays will be trapped on the Earth's surface. It is the same thing you can apply for the greenhouse gases. When the greenhouse gases are less in concentration, there is more scope for the IR to escape. But with the increase in the amount of greenhouse gases, more amount of IR will be trapped on the Earth's surface, and that is how the Earth's temperatures will keep on increasing. Okay. Now, let us look at this little animation. What happened during the Ice Age? In Ice Age, the whole Earth's surface was covered with snow. We call it as the permafrost, right? So when visible photons hit snow, no infrared radiations are generated. As a result, no heat. Because there was no heat, most of the ice caps were retained as ice caps. And even you can see here, the concentration of greenhouse gases during Ice Age was very, very low when compared to today's concentration. So all the water in the form of ice, carbon dioxide 180 parts per million, methane 0.3 parts per million, nitrogen oxide 0.2 parts per million. So this was the probable concentration of greenhouse gases during the Ice Age. And because the concentration was less enough, they could not trap more amount of IR, and so there was no much heat during the Ice Age, right? So the temperature was hardly 4 to 5 degrees centigrade, probably. 3 to 4 degrees, something, where the ice was always there. Now coming to 1750s. 1750s means there was a bit of industrialization. Due to industrialization, you can see here the greenhouse gas composition has increased. Because the greenhouse gas composition increased. In Ice Age it was 180, but here it is 280. In methane was 0.3 there, and by 1750s it is 0.7, double ho gaya. And nitrogen oxide, it was 0.2, and here also 0.2. Okay. Because of the increase in majorly carbon dioxide and methane, the amount of infrared radiation was more, that got trapped on the Earth's surface, and so there was an increase in the temperature. So previously it was some 4 degrees or 3 degrees, and now it is slowly rising up to 14 degrees or 15 degrees centigrade. Now today's condition. So you can check today's carbon dioxide levels in your city, as I told you previously. So currently the carbon dioxide, this simulation was made in 2014. The carbon dioxide levels in Colorado were 388 parts per million. That means 180 say 280, 280 say it took a long jump, 388. And currently it must be above 400 for sure. And methane 1.8. Previously we started off with 0.3, and now it became how many times higher? So there is a tremendous increase in the levels of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrogen oxide along with water vapor due to heavy industrialization. Most of the industrialization took place during 1950s to 2000, and most of the greenhouse gas concentration increased during the past 50 to 60 years only. And as a result, the temperatures have increased tremendously. Okay. So this is how we can understand with the help of simulation. I think it was much clearer. Let's go back to our presentation. So here, so you should be able to understand now that greenhouse gases are those gases that helps to maintain an average temperature on the earth. And that was a natural process. But due to industrialization and man-made effects, the concentration of the greenhouse gases have increased tremendously, and that led to increase in the temperatures. Let us look into the textbook information. This is the diagram that we find in your textbook, and it says, it goes like this. What all we discussed, the same thing is written here. The greenhouse gases absorb long wavelengths and they re-emit to the Earth's surface, and as a result the cycle continues and the Earth's surface keeps becoming warmer and warmer. it is leading to the global warming. All the greenhouse gases, they absorb the infrared, again they re-emit back to the Earth's surface. Absorb, that means they're catching it and releasing it. Catch and release. And because of that, all the IR is being trapped close to the Earth's surface, and that is how the temperatures are increasing. It is as simple as that. So, when solar energy is traveling towards the Earth, clouds and gases reflect 1/4 of the incoming solar radiation. About half of the incoming solar radiation will reach the Earth's surface, and very small amounts are reflected back. The Earth's surface re-emits the heat in the form of infrared radiation. Part of it does not escape. Major part of it does not escape due to the presence of carbon dioxide and methane. They absorb it and re-emit it to the environments. Okay. Next. And this is the reason why the Earth's surface becomes hotter and hotter. This cycle will repeat many times. And carbon dioxide and methane, remember, carbon dioxide and methane are majorly called as the greenhouse gases, as they are responsible for the greenhouse effect. Okay. Now, what happens when the Earth's temperatures are on a rise? You're calling that as a global warming. Greenhouse effect leads to global warming. Remember, greenhouse effect leads to global warming. Greenhouse effect leads to global warming. During the past century, the average temperature of the Earth has increased by 0.6 degrees centigrade. And most of the increase happened during the past 3 decades. Remember, past 3 decades means 1970s to 2000. And scientists believe that the rise in temperature is deleterious to the environment. It brings deleterious changes in the environment. Deleterious means which are harmful, damaging. And it results in odd climatic conditions. So here we should know a term called odd climatic conditions. ये क्या है? Odd climatic conditions क्या होता है? Let us see. So, greenhouse gases, increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases leads to global warming. Global warming in turn will lead to odd climatic changes called as El Nino effect. El Nino is a Spanish term. It means a little boy or Christ's child. Okay. So initially in 1600s, what happened was the fishermen in the Pacific Ocean identified that during winters, the central Pacific Ocean waters are becoming warmer and warmer. For the first time, they have identified that the oceanic waters are becoming much warmer during the winter season. And later we understood that this warming up of water is a kind of odd situation. And that is result of the interactions between the oceanic waters and the atmosphere. And later we found that this change was quite harmful for the oceanic ecosystem as well as the terrestrial ecosystem. And this change is a result of global warming. Okay. And this effect is called as El Nino effect, which leads to odd climatic changes. Usually we have a pattern, right? Seasons ka ek pattern hota hai. And these days we can see the pattern was disturbed more or less. And we have more number of cyclones, more number of natural calamities. What should I say? So previously we have never seen many typhoons in a country like India, but these days we are experiencing them. Then 2019 May, there was major calamity in Odisha, and long back Hudhud in Vishakhapatnam. And like that, there were so many cyclones. This year we have so many cyclones hitting. So that means the frequency of the cyclones increases and warmer areas become much warmer, drier areas become much drier, wetter areas become much wetter. All these are the odd changes referred to as El Nino effect. Okay. El Nino effect is due to global warming. Global warming is due to the greenhouse gas emissions, increase in the greenhouse gas emissions. What happens when the globe becomes warmer? there is increased melting of polar ice caps and Himalayan snow caps will take place. And this melting will lead to rise in the sea levels. When sea level rises, naturally the coastal areas will be submerged. Already Maldives is under threat. Japan, the group of islands, is under threat. Like that, every coastal area, due to the increase in the sea levels, they may submerge one fine day. And the total spectrum of changes that are caused by global warming is not yet completely understood. It is still an active area of research. Okay, so this is about the greenhouse gases and the global warming. I hope you enjoyed this session. So that's all for the day. Dear friends, during these COVID times, please wear a mask, use hand sanitizers, stay home and stay safe. Goodbye.